Welcome you to the analysis software, and I'd like to discuss a tool that can be quite useful to you. I'm going to call the tool the Quantitation Method Assistant. This tool is designed as a standalone tool to help you dynamically create a quantitation method. The reasons to create a quantitation method are that you've got a list of compounds, let's say their masses and retention times, and this applies to scan data. So I'm talking about either unit mass resolution or accurate mass resolution scan data. And you might think, well, listen, if I have a clean calibration sample, I could just use the tool new method from acquired scan data, and if I had a library search, I could use the library. But there are situations where there's matrix interference to the point where that tool would find a lot of other compounds, and in that case, or the case where you already have predetermined what compounds you're going to look for because you have a database of those compounds, you will be interested in the Quantitation Method Assistant. Go to the demo. First, you'll notice that this is Excel, and Excel has been extended with a ribbon called the Quant Method ribbon, and you'll notice there's ribbon buttons here. So the demo will show you first that I can add target compounds or ISTB compounds and sort them by either retention time or name. So what I've got to do as a user is put in retention times and masses. So I will just arbitrarily put these in for the demo. And I'll also put some retention times in here. Now I've got a method for scan data. Now notice that in this view I've got the condensed view. Let me sort by names here. I've got the condensed view, or I can expand the view to see all the columns across the top here. Going back to the condensed view, I'd like to show you that there's either a scan, being a unit mass resolution presentation, or an accurate mass presentation, which will change the formatting so the masses are in parts per million. In this demo, I'm going to stick with unit mass. And I can reset all the formatting here with the reset button. Now, additionally, you may want to define qualifiers. So I have 3 qualifiers possible, and I can add the qualifier fields here. And again, I have to put in some values here for the qualifiers. And I will just arbitrarily put some values in there to fill out the method. I can move columns, rows around with these buttons here. I can also clear. But what I wanted to show you now, going back to the condensed view, was the ability to save that, or I can copy it to the clipboard. But I'm going to save that method here in my documents, and I'll call it my demo. And now I've saved that file. Before I leave the Quantitation Method Assistant, let me point out that there is the ability to extend this because there are macros behind here which are available, and I can add additional features such as connecting to a database potentially. Obviously, with the table here, I can read in a CSV file and populate that if we're coming from an external system. That integration is available and an open door here with this Excel approach. Go to the demo, and what I'd like to show you is loading that quantitation method which was stored in a file. And I'm going to do that by opening a method from an existing file. So as you remember, my demo quant method is now loaded, and what I can see is the compounds, ISTDs, that were defined in the Quantitation Method Assistant. And I've identified some of them as ISTDs. I have added a 1-point calibration curve just to make sure that the method is valid. And I've got my qualifier setups. and I entered these numbers as the qualifier masses. And of course, if I need to update them, I can use the update tools like update retention times or update qualifier ratios to make the method more up to date. And you can, of course, go ahead and complete any editing of the method here, but after you've loaded the method from the quantitation assistant, you will end up with a valid method which you potentially could run to see how your compounds are looking in that particular samples. Thank you very much.